Hello and welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas, where we are playing more solo role-playing games. And today's solo role-playing game of choice is our 12th episode of The Forbidden Lands. So, where did we leave? We left our three adventurers, Taylene, Nemena and Sister Nivea, as they were going down some stairs within the dwarven prison that we found to the south of the Hollows that we've been exploring. We have come to the bottom of the stairs and we've rolled a trap. It's a locked door at the bottom of these spiral stairs that go down. Let's show you on my map. So I was thinking about this map, that you see some of the solo, I like to call them hands, solo role players, where you just see a top down and hands. They're hands players. They are exquisite artists, some of them. I don't know about you, but I cannot draw that well on the fly. I cannot knock up a gorgeous map on the fly. So I personally think it's quite nice that you can see that anyone can do this. You don't have to be a fantastic artist to draw a map and play solo role-playing games. You don't have to do that to stick it in a camera. Any of you can get yourself a camera and start doing a solo role-play channel. If that will incentivize you to keep playing and keep being creative and keep making stories, do it. 100% do it. Do a channel, tell your stories, be creative, do it, draw your maps, as we were. So, actually, I might as well now. Thank you very much if you are a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, do consider subscribing. I appreciate all of you who are subscribers. Each one of those numbers is I appreciate you for the time you're spending and for the time it takes for you to watch me do this. I appreciate that time and I thank you for giving me that time and for allowing me to tell you my stories. Thank you so much to the Adventurers Guild, who not only give me their time to appreciate my stories and tell me as such, they financially support me to do things like buying the pencils and the paper and to support the ongoingness of this channel and support my creativity with, they are patrons in the classic sense of a patron of the arts. And I am eternally grateful, the right word this time, eternally grateful for their support. Thank you so much. If you would like to join the Adventurers Guild, I can stick a link up there and there's a join button down there. And I think YouTube is changing the join thing to push it in your face a bit more because they take a cut. But there's that. There's also, if you'd like to give, there's the super thanks. They also take a cut of that. Or there's a link to a coffee thank you, which is in the description. I'd like, all of that helps support me maintaining this and is you supporting the creativity that goes out to you, just so as you know. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. Let's go on. So we've reached the bottom of this door here. This is where we fought the Minotaur. This is where the spider nest was. Minotaur, there was this joining corridor here. And then we went down the spirally stairs and at the bottom there was a locked door which is trapped. Now, Taylene is the one who'd be going forwards with Nemena behind, being ready to charge in, shield ready, and then Sister Nivea would be at the back. So what we need to now do, which we didn't do at the time, is we need to roll the trap. We did roll the scout roll and Taylene did not see what this is. So, to the Game Master's Guide, we shall turn and we are going to roll a D66 and find out what is going to happen to the favourite explorer of mine and you, Taylene. 42. 42 comes up as gas. Hallucinogenic poison with potency D6 plus 4. All adventurers. That actually makes sense. It makes sense. Because what we said was there was that Minotaur and the Minotaur could have explored deeper. Now the Minotaur would come to the bottom here and explore, might have triggered the gas and then may have wandered off a bit aimlessly and then got confused, thus semi-starving in that room, which was why the Minotaur was weakened when we fought the Minotaur. So, hallucinogenic gas. Give me a second. I am going to look up poisons and see what effect a hallucinogenic gas actually has. Alright, so hallucinogenic poison. A hallucinogenic poison, the full effect, and then I'll go through how the effect works, which I think we did once before, but I'll go through it again. The hallucinogenic effects with its full effect is you take 1 point of damage to your empathy each round until you are broken, or you drink an antidote, or you are cured of poison. The limited effect is you take 1 point of damage to empathy. It says with poisons that they have no effect on monsters, which is fine if you're fighting them, but story-wise, we're going to say that this hallucinogenic poison had an effect on the Minotaur because it works the story. So, we are saying, according to the GM's guide, that this has a potency of a D6 plus 3. Which is a potency of 8. So, how we'll get this, how that works is, we roll the potency of the poison, 8 base dice, and we see how many hits we get. Then each of Nemena, Taline, and Sister Nivea, they need to roll their endurance, and they need to beat whatever the potency rolled. So we've got a potency of 8. So we will roll 8 dice and see how many hits we get. We got 2 hits. So as they come down these stairs, and Taline checks the door, she can't see anything wrong with the door, so she grabs the handle and starts to give it a tug just to check. And at the process of doing that, so we would probably say this is it, because this first set of vials would have been released. So what would happen? So we could imagine that rattling causes some weights to drop, crack a vial of the hallucinogenic poison. That hallucinogenic poison, because it's a gas, would then be released from this vial. It would then come up the corridor, it would drift up the corridor and affect everybody up the corridor. And then the trap will reset itself to do a second one. So that glass would come out. So she could have noticed the pieces of broken glass. So she'd have rolled hits. She'd have noticed the pieces of broken glass. She'd have noticed that the bits to see the track, which was set off by the Minotaur. These are the last of the poison that has been released. So the gas has gone up. That gas has come up. It's, let's see, is it invisible gas? Well, let's see. Is it visible? No. So that's using the Oracle, which is within Book of Beasts. So we now have each of our peeps who need to roll endurance against a 2 hits. Endurance is strength. Taline has 3. She does have will points. We have got adaptable. I am tempted to switch this to survival. Survival is wits. How much does she have for wits? She's only got 3 for wits. She has got an agility, so maybe we will use move. So Taline is going to use up her 1 left will point, and she is going to use move, which is agility of 4 and move of 2. And we're going to justify this that there's the slight hint in the air of the gas, or there's the cracking of the glass as she does it, and not a hiss, because just the glass would crack, and that triggers her to try and cover her mouth and not breathe in the gas as it comes along. She needs to match 2 hits or match 2 hits, so she needs to get 2 hits. She gets 1 hit, but she could push this. It will do agility damage, because you can push a 1 on the skill, but you can't push that. So she's going to attempt to push it. So she almost takes in a breath, and she saves herself. That gives 3 hits. No damage comes to her, so she doesn't get any will points, but she is able to grab her shirt and shove it in over her mouth and save herself from breathing in the gas. Taline is all right. Then we have Nemena. Nemena is quite injured. Nemena's strength only stands at 1, and she has no endurance. So we might as well just say Nemena takes it. So Nemena breathes in the gas because her strength isn't high enough. We can try and do it, see if she gets 1 hit. No. So Nemena is caught by the gas. We will have to do an effect on Nemena. Now, can we do a healing roll? Well, I have to look up after Sister Nivea, because Sister Nivea does have the spell points to be able to do it. She has got Path of Healing, which means that she could actually cure the poison, but she used up all of her spells previously, and she hasn't rested to be able to get it back again. Sister Nemena has 2 for strength. I think Sister Nemena is going to be affected by this, and Sister Nemena has nothing for endurance. If she had will points, she'd be able to do it. 5 and 5, we could try and push Sister Nemena. I mean, Sister Nivea rather, but that means she would possibly take damage. So she's going to try pushing. There's no point with Nivea because she could get 2 6s. She got 1 6. Who would have thunk it? And she only got 1 6. She got 1 6, which means she hasn't actually resisted the poison. But that wasn't bad. So Taylene is going to watch Sister Nivea and Sister Nivea and Nemena taking these breaths, and they are going to, so it's a hallucinogenic poison which is affecting their empathy. Now, how can we deal with this? Let's have a look and see. Does healing do anything? I don't think it does. I think you need an antidote. Their healing was not going to help, which means both of these two are going to suffer. Both of these two will suffer will become broken, and they are going to suffer a critical, and then we're going to have to try and Sister Nivea is going to have to cure that. They're going to have to rest. Yes, I can imagine how to deal with this. Yep, okay. I don't think healing is going to help, but let me just check. So no, healing doesn't help, but performance can get them back after being broken. So we would have, they're at the bottom of the stairs. Taylene has covered her mouth because she noticed it was there. She sees Sister Nivea and Nemena. They breathe it in. It's a hallucinogenic poison. Their empathy is being affected. So they would be scared. So Nemena drops her sword and shield and clutches her head and screams. Sister Nivea is going to start waving her staff around defensively. Taylene is going, so they're both, at that point, they have both lost 1 empathy. Taylene is going to attempt to calm Nemena down first, well, Sister Nivea down first, because Sister Nivea is waving her shield staff around, which is a bit difficult. I'm going to make, let's see, so she'll do, either way, if it's, she is going to do a healing roll to start off with. It's not going to help to try and work out what's going on. This is Taylene. She got a hit. Okay, so she knows that they are poisoned, and she knows it's not affecting them, their physiology. It's affecting their mentality. They both lose 1 empathy. Sister Nivea, so Nemena is on half point, so she's got 2 left. Sister Nivea has 1 point, so 1 round left, and then she's going to basically go into a bit of a catatonic state. So Taylene is going to attempt to help Sister Nivea. She doesn't have performance, but she does have 3 points in empathy. She is attempting to do this, so from broken you can get someone back. So she is going to attempt to talk Sister Nivea into putting down her staff. If she gets 1 hit, she'll put down her staff. No, Sister Nivea is swinging and is going to take a swing at Taylene, who has come up because she doesn't know what's going on. And so Sister Nivea has a strength of 2 and a 1 for melee. She is going to attempt to hit Taylene. She gets 1 hit. Taylene has a fast footwork, so can attempt a quick dodge, which is 4 for agility. This is all down at the bottom of the stairs. Nemena is still in the corner screaming and crying. She's begun crying now, and it's 2 for move, isn't it? So she has 4 for agility, 2 for move. She has to try and save 1 hit, otherwise she's going to get whacked. Yeah, she dodges out of the way, so she rolls to the floor, dodging out of the way as Sister Nivea loses her last empathy and goes catatonic. Nemena is on her knees now, scrabbling around on the floor, trying to grab something that isn't there. Nemena, let's see, is Nemena going to... No, I don't know if Nemena would... Is Nemena going to see Taylene as an enemy? Yes, okay. Nemena is going to stand at this point and attempt to punch Taylene. What's that? That would still be melee, wouldn't it? But she's trying to punch her because she dropped her shield. She's only got one. Nope. She takes a wild swing at Taylene. Taylene would have stood up and attempt to get back. Taylene is going to attempt to just hold on to Nemena and keep Nemena still and stop her from hurting herself, which is melee, which is a 1. Oh, she gets a hit. Okay, so Taylene is holding on to Nemena and trying to keep Nemena from hurting herself as Nemena screams and then also goes catatonic. So Taylene is now at the bottom of the stairs with Nemena and Nivea, who are both they're both unconscious, dribbling from their mouths, not looking very good. Taylene is going to think they really need to rest, but first we will roll whatever the critical is for both of them. Let's find out what that is. So the only thing this would potentially be is horror, but it's not really a horror. It wasn't a horror thing. So this might be critical injuries other, and in which case it would be possibly non-typical. It says time limit D6, lethal, yes, healing effects during you remain unconscious until you die or are healed, but healed won't work. So that they are basically unconscious. They're not going to get a critical injury off of this, I think is the answer. So we have Taylene is down the bottom. So let's move our clock on for our ticking of time. So we've got 15 minutes will have moved on as they're dealing with all this stuff. So they're now almost at the end of the 4th hour. We will do 15 minutes and then we'll end this hour. Let's roll a 1 to see if we get an encounter. I don't know how we'd get an encounter. No, we don't. Thank God for that. That's hour 5, but we might cut this area short because Taylene may decide that she needs to create a camp, maybe even at the bottom of the stairs before they go through the door, because if they can't really come across anything new and get them back. But first, she is going to attempt to do a performance roll, which is she is going to talk to Nemena and Sister Nivea and see if she can get them to come round. Now this is a performance healing, which is, she doesn't have performance, but she does have a 3 for empathy. So she's going to roll her 3 dice for empathy for Nemena and see if she can get Nemena up. She's got 1 hit. Okay, so Nemena comes round. Nemena has a cracking headache and he's not feeling good at all. Nemena is down to 1 empathy. And then she is going to talk to, she couldn't push it. She's going to talk to Sister Nivea, see if she can get Sister Nivea to come round. No, and she's not going to push it because that. So Sister Nivea is still unconscious. Nemena is conscious. Nemena has a really bad headache. They are at the bottom of the stairs. Taylene is going to ask Nemena to help her carry Sister Nivea back to the top of the stairs, where they are going to attempt to scavenge around. There is some wood, so they might be able to do it. Or they might go back, they could go back out and set a camp outside and then come back in again. And then come back down to this point. That, I mean, especially because Sister Nivea is unconscious, that might be more comfortable than sleeping down here. What are they going to think? Let's make, Taylene is going to make a survival roll, because I don't know which to pick. Survival of 2 against a wits. She has 3 at the moment for wits. So this is, if she gets a hit, we'll say she chooses the best option. Otherwise, they're going to stay here. I'm not too sure if going outside or going inside is best. So she is going to choose the best option. So whatever is the best option, going outside is probably more comfortable. Is it more dangerous? Debatable, really. All right, what she's going to do is that area, which is the cells, was protected, and it's just around the corner here. So she's going to try and get Sister Nivea with Nemena carried up to here and across and to here, which we'll say will take about half hour. Carefully carrying them up and coming over to here. And then Taylene is going to attempt to try and scavenge around into this area where there was some wood, and around here and various other bits to make something that they can actually sleep in, i.e. make a camp in this area here, and they can sleep in this area here. I think you're allowed to do that. I don't know whether you're allowed to camp inside a dungeon. Let me have a check. All right, as far as I can find, raw rules as written doesn't say anything you can't do. Not that I can find. If I am wrong, please stick it in the comments below. So we'll first have a we'll have a might roll of Nemena and Taylene. Nemena's not doing great at the moment, so Nemena has 1 strength, 3 for might, and 1 because Taylene is helping. We get no hits. They are going to struggle up the stairs, i.e. they're going to push it. We get no hits. Okay, so Taylene, they're really having a lot of trouble getting up the stairs. Between them, Taylene is going to take a point of strength damage that she is getting knocked and battered about as they're attempting to get everything up, and they're getting fatigued as they're trying to get everything up and into that cells area. Nemena is going to have to sit there. They try and get Sister Nivea to be comfortable. So we'll call that the end of the day. We're then going to move on to the evening. So this is the day of the 8th, and then we'll move on to the evening where they're going to attempt to set camp. We will have, so Quartermaster, Nemena has Quartermaster. Quartermaster gives you +1 when making a camp. So she is going to help Taylene. So Taylene is going to attempt to do I think it's a survival roll for making camp. Survival is 2 for Taylene's survival, 3 for her wits because she's getting tired. Nemena is helping, and also Nemena has Quartermaster. It's in a dungeon, so I might say it's difficult, and I might say they need 2 hits to make a good camp. They get 3 hits. So between them, they have 3 hits. So they're able to scavenge up some stuff to pile into the corner. They find some stuff within that room which collapse. They're grabbing a detritus from the floor, and they're just piling up to be able to create enough of a space for 2 people to sleep so a 3rd person can keep watch. And they're also going to grab some wood and stuff and try and set a fire. It does mean that there's going to be some smoke around this area, which, or maybe they're going to find, maybe we'll say that because of this, not only that, I mean, if the dwarves are down here and it's a dungeon prison, there's probably some form of chimney. It might be enough that the smoke can escape, or they can allow the smoke to drift out and then dissipate around the rest of the area. Either way, that's enough of a hit that they build a camp down here, which kind of satisfies me as a DM. As a DM, I'll kind of be kind because I've just ripped them apart, be satisfied with them as a DM. Now, next, so that's the scout roll whilst they're attempting survival roll. Now, do they encounter anything whilst they're down here? So they're trying to do it in a way that nothing's going to attract anything. So no. Next, we've got the day. We'll roll an encounter for the day using general dungeon encounters. So next we've got an encounter, so night, during the night, Taylene is going to keep watch, and Taylene is going to let Nemena, who is badly injured, and Sister Nivea, who is badly injured, sleep. So Taylene needs to roll scouting to pay attention and keep watch. Scouting is 2 for scouting and 3 for her wits. She is trying to keep an eye on the entrances and the exits and make sure that nothing can come in and get them. She gets 1 hit, so she's got a scout of 1 hit. Right, what happens in a dungeon for an encounter. Let's use the general encounters. So we won't say that something's definitely going to come and sneak up on them and eat their faces off. We will do general encounters, Book of Beasts, page 170, because there's a percentage chance it is nothing. We've not got many of these left. All right, what do we got? Four of spades, no encounter. Okay, so during the night, that night part, Taylene is keeping watch. She's hearing noises. The fire, she's trying to keep the fire going a bit so she has enough light that she can see. She's terrified that something's going to surface because Nemena and Sister Nivea are poorly and nothing happens. And we get on to the 9th, the morning of the 9th of Springrise. Nemena is healed up. Sister Nivea is healed up. And Sister Nivea spells are back. She is going to attempt to, first thing in the morning, heal her nose and get that to heal over, which is mend wounds, which is a rank 2, which is she rolls 2 dice. So that, I think, means that she gets a mishap. But that means it overpowers, unless we cancel them out. All right, so it does overpower, but there's also some form of mishap. So overpowering, I don't think it means anything when it comes to mend wounds. Basically what it means is a non-lethal critical injury heals itself. So her nose heals up, but it cannot grow. A lethal injury requires power 2. It wasn't lethal. Oh, she could have just rolled 1. She could have rolled power 1 because it's not a lethal injury. All right, are we happy for me to do it again? 5. So it doesn't overpower. But there's no mishap because it only needed power 1. A lethal injury would require power 2. Lost limbs cannot be regrown. So her nose doesn't grow back, but it does heal up. And so she no longer has the 5 days -1 manipulation. But she is missing a nose. Right. And Nemena is healed. She is healed. In the morning, they are going to then allow Taylene to have a sleep. And Taylene will heal, which means that we'll have Nemena is going to keep watch. 3 for wits. Scouting of 1. Sister Nivea is helping. We get 1 here. Okay, and then we will do another card pull. A 5 and a 5 is also because it's 2 to 7 is nothing. So nothing happens. We're in the morning. We've passed the morning of the 9th of Springrise. We will roll for everyone's food as they're going to eat. Food and water. So we will go Nemena, Taylene, Sister Nivea. Nemena. We have Nemena's food is fine, water is fine. Taylene, food is fine, water is fine. Sister Nivea, food is fine, water is fine. So they all eat and drink, they make sure that they're okay, and they then are refreshed. Nobody has taken any damage. Taylene has healed her damage. They're all fit. Oh, Taylene fired arrows, didn't she? She should probably roll her arrows as well from yesterday. Her arrows are fine. 1s and 2s, it will drop down when it comes to any of the dice. Torches as well. Let's do torches as well, but all of them. So we'll have, this is Taylene. Taylene's torches are okay. This is Nemena. Nemena's torches go down to a D6. And then we have Sister Nivea. Sister Nivea's torches have gone out. Alright, so they have a supply of torches. So they've got 2 sets of D6s for torches. And then they have Sister Nivea, who has no torches, but she can create magic. Her spell pool has gone to 1 before she tries casting another spell. Okay. What are we going to do, says Taylene. Well, says Nemena, I'm that was a battering. We do have that crown that you're wearing. I assume this is a joke. We do have a silver statue looks about worth of gold. We've got that little religious icon we got from that other room, which is like 17 silver. We've got some stuff, but there seems to be more down here. I don't know whether I want to, though we are running out of torches. We could probably try and fashion up some torches by checking that other room and seeing if we can scavenge together at least torches. So I will give them a survival roll. Taylin can lead because she's got the best survival, which is 5 for her wits and 2 for survival. They're going to attempt to make 1d6 worth of torches out of the triters that they find in that room. 1, 6. Okay, they're going to make 1d6 worth of torches out of the wood and the leftover stuff in that room, which Sister Nivea can have. And they will go back down to the bottom of those stairs and they're going to search that door again. I will start a new, so we are back to the day and I'll start a new set of clocks. And we will roll a d6 for this first hour of the day of the 9th of Springrise. Nope, no encounter. Okay. So they go back down, they take their time. I'm going to say it's going to take half an hour. That's 2 ticks. So there's 6 hours within the quarter. Each one, of course, has 4 sets of 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a round or a turn or something like that. It's named for them to go down. So they are now back down at the bottom of these. Oh, I shouldn't have done that there. I'm going to erase that. Hold on, give us a second. So I've just done that on a different page. So we're done with 2 lots. So did anyone, I don't know if any of you are from the UK, do any of you know of the live role-playing that used to be done in a place called Chislehurst Caves? They filmed some Doctor Who's down there back in the day. But I used to go down there. It was a whole set of caves. They were used by the Romans as fortifications. And then I think during the Second World War, they used it as a store armory. But it's Chislehurst Caves. We used to do live action role-playing down in Chislehurst Caves. It was an organised thing. I can't remember what the group was called that organised it, but you had to pay money and they had DMs running things and it was the whole hitting 1, 2, 3. That was pretty cool. But that then lets you know, like, being down there in the darkness and being around. And so I don't know how realistic that them camping and setting a little fire would actually be. I mean, I don't think it's realistic at all. But luckily, it's not a simulation. So we've come back down to the stairs down here. Now, the stairs were locked and they were trapped, but they are trapped no more. So I am going to do, Taylin is going to take her time. She is going to spend twice as long and we're going to give her extra dice because she's going to spend a whole half hour. We'll roll a d6 for the next hour encounter. Oh, there is one. Okay. So when they open that door, there's something behind the door. There's definitely something behind the door. An encounter just the same. So something has heard them do something and we'll pull a card and find out what that is. But she's going to spend half an hour. That's probably because she spends so much time on this door trying to get the door open that it hears from the other side. So Taylin is going to attempt to... Oh, we didn't give them encounter XP for last time. Last time, did you travel through at least 1 hex? No, but they did adventuring. Did you discover a new adventure site? No. Did you defeat? Yes, they did defeat a monster. Did they find treasure? Yes, they found treasure. They didn't build a function. Did they activate their pride? No. Did they suffer from the dark secret? Some of them we could say. Did they risk their life for another PC? Most definitely they did. They all get 5 XP. Now, are we happy with me spending the points to give Taylin 1 point in sleight of hands? What's that you say? Yes, Pete, you're more than happy with me spending 1 point giving Taylin sleight of hands. But how many points is that going to cost her in XP? I hear you asking. Well, let me tell you. It's going to cost 5 points per level. So she needs to spend 5 points to get level 1 in a new skill. And she is going, oh, she really wants to learn that talent so she doesn't have to draw. Which is, I think that's 10. Is that 10? Oh, it's 3. She could try and do both, but it's going to take a quarter of a day to learn it. 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will still give her 8 points left in XP. All right, so she spends 5 points because she's been spending so much time trying to do sleight of hands. We'll give her 1 point in sleight of hands. Sister Nivea only has 6 points, and Nemena has 8 points. Taylene now has 8 points. This is XP left. So, Taylene, bottom of the stairs. Stop getting distracted. Stop distracting me. She's with the door. It's locked. She's going to try and get the door unlocked. She can do a sleight of hands roll, which is 4 dice for her agility, 1 for her sleight of hands that she's just learned. She's going to take ages, so she's going to get an extra 1, and she's getting assistance from everybody else, so she gets an extra 1. So this is to get the door unlocked and then encounter whatever's on the other side. We get, no, wait, oh, she can push it. Look, though we've got 1s on the skill roll, we've got no 1s on this. She is going to push it, although these ones will do her damage. And agility is what she needs for using the bow. We get a 6. We get a 6. The 1 on the skill doesn't cause any damage. No 1's there. She gets 1 6. Okay, so she stands there. Takes ages. This is why it takes half an hour. And just as Sister Nivea is going, I think we might as well just go back home. There's a click and the door opens. Okay, so now we will roll what's behind the door, and then we can work out what it is that springs out and grabs them. So we have, we know that, so we want to know what is behind the door. We want to go back to our DM's guide, and we've got type of room, which is a D6 roll. What is behind the door? 2. A corridor. So this opens up into a corridor going, we'll say it goes like this. Is it a long, oh, we've got to reshuffle the cards because it's a new day. Excuse me? Okay, is it a long corridor? Yes, very much so. Okay. Does it have a bend in it? Yes. Okay, so I'm drawing it as a long corridor with a bend in it. We don't know what's around the corner. I will now see if there are any doors in this bit here. Which is 2d6. 11. 11 is 4 doors. So we've got 4 doors, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a bend in the end of the corridor. Now, something down this corridor, we said that there was an encounter. So we rolled a 1 for an encounter. We could say that there's a general encounter, and if we get anything that is a thick, so what the general encounter table has 2 to 7, there's nothing. 8, 9 is just sort of things, smells and stuff. 10 Jack Queen King is a encounter. So we can go 10 Jack Queen King. If it's a person, we could do it as pull up on the table for inhabitants. If it's a monster, we'll do a monster pull from it. So first off, we need to see, using the general encounters, what type of general encounter is it? It's an 8. An 8 is a smell, 8 of diamonds. An unusual smell emanates from this area. So this area is quite smelly. We are going to, in this area, I'm going to mark that they are -1 to tasks. Smell. So this area smells dank and unpleasant. It's causing them to gag slightly. Sister Nivea would potentially be the only person who isn't really affected from it because she's got her nose covered up. But this is coming up from the ground and it smells awful. We might open a door or continue a little bit longer and then we'll call it for today because last week was really intense in recording and then editing, and this week is the week where normally I will record as well the how-to video, so that's going to be quite intense as well. It means at least 4, probably 5 including The Walking Dead, and so I'm going to cut this short at this bit. We will choose a door to go down, so probably it's going to be either this one or this one. This one, can you see that? This one or this one. So reds, blacks. Reds, this one. Okay, they're all going to collect around this one. They'll briefly check these doors. I'll tell you what, they'll briefly check them, but they're not going to open them, and we will roll for each of these. That's what we'll do instead. We will roll to see what is that door, and then we will then mark what it is. If it's open, that's the one we're going to pick. So we'll start with that one there that we were going to do. That is a 6, which it's locked and trapped. We don't know the trap yet. None of the traps are known about. The next one down the corridor is a 2, is unlocked. The one opposite that one is a 5, is locked. So all of these doors are locked. Some of them are open. And the one opposite the trapped one is a 4, is locked. So we've got locked and trapped. We don't know about the trap. Unlocked, locked, locked. We can say that doing that took 15 minutes. That encounter was dealt with. We rolled, it was nothing. We are going to spend 15 minutes going and checking and doing a scouting roll for all of the doors. Maybe that'll take half hour. Checking all of those doors to see if any, particularly after that one there, to see if they are trapped. We are going to start with that first one and work our way round. So checking for a trap is probably a scouting, which is agility. Scouting, no, which is wits, which at this moment Taylene has 5. Taylene has 2 for scouting, and she's getting assistance from the terrible duo. 1 hit is all we need to identify its trap. We get 2 hits. Okay, so we know it's trapped. If I could spell no. Because I'm learning Dutch, I'm starting to reach that stage where words are getting, I'm using, so I just wrote Ken, which is no in Dutch, and I'm writing in English. It's good because it means I'm learning it, but it's bad because it means I keep getting words confused. I'll say something to Mandy and she'll go, that was in Dutch, and I didn't mean to do it. So we'll also have done a roll for the others, but none of the other ones are trapped. So of course we're not going to find a trap because they're not trapped, so there's no point rolling them. And then there's the unlocked door, and the unlocked door is the one we will go through. So we will go through, I'll write notes and then we'll end there, and we'll find out what's behind the door next session. So we are going to open, so I'll note found trap. Oh, let's roll to see what sort of trap it was. So we haven't found trap, but not disarmed. It's a D66. 11, it is a pit trap. Behind the door. So it's inside the room. We will go unlock door. So that is what we will do next session. We'll start with them going through this unlocked door and trying to work out what is behind here. And then we can try and unlock these doors and see what we do. I will also write do XP. Thank you very much. Hopefully that was all right. It's not a very long one. Thank you very much for joining me. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for being a subscriber. If you're not yet a subscriber, do consider subscribing. As they say, it does help the channel grow, particularly if you do the little icon thing, allegedly, and particularly if you comment. So if you want to do a comment to help the channel grow, that would be awesome. If you want to subscribe to help the channel grow, I would be very, very thankful. If you want to help support the channel a bit further, as I said at the beginning, you can join the membership at the bottom. I don't know if I can do that link twice. So if it didn't appear, I can't do it twice. And instead there's the button at the bottom. Or you can do the superstar thank yous, or there's a coffee thank you as well. All of that helps. The merchandise that used to be sold, so I had some t-shirts. I have worked out a way to get that onto my own website instead of using Shopify. And I also then can sell possibly some of my terrain and other stuff, particularly when we get to the Netherlands at the end of the year, because then it's easier if you're in Europe and stuff for me to ship it to you. From Australia, the shipping anywhere but in Australia is just unbelievable. That's about it really. Thank you so much for listening to me. Sorry for doing the sell thing. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.